Ничего, ворвемся на минут 20, на полчасика.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone...
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal...
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, bucko.
She turns her head to face the coast and nods disdainfully toward Joyce, performing maintenance on her boat.
Блин, интересно, Джойс, нихуя себе, да? А если бы я туда не пришел сначала?
Disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat doesn't...
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. It's where they grow whores like her, and their whoremen. Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an area. I haven't really started it yet. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards.
She wants it to be something true and total.
Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Здорово. Как слышно, прием?
Yes?
You hear someone walking around inside.
Who is this?
Через балкон получается же. Там лестница была, я оттуда пришел с улицы. Ну да, наверное, так.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the...
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. Remember, tomorrow, he's probably gone for today. No one answers.
We should return tomorrow. Tomorrow at night.
No one answers.
We should
No one answers.
We should return tomorrow.
trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Logic error. She is not sleeping right.
Pigs come to take me out, trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Trying to sneak...
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? This reality. What? Such an acute encephalopathy just doesn't seem possible. Surely you're joking.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on...
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however...
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this, in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
She nods. What this boils down to is, this reality thing is stupid. Blow this joint, grab a bottle, and drain that shit right down your throat.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie, out in the open somewhere.
Wait. This reality thing is the only game in town. It's probably in your interest not to blow it.
Of course. Well, I'll be here if you need me. You're back. Good. What we do. The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20...
$8 billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one. It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demand.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. Every worker,
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of... Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work.
This checks out.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and... He is... Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. Of course. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one... Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Have you seen him? Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. Of course. Of course. How else can I help? You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead. These are... the revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so. Those would be... Oh, did they ever?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, lots of people. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive... Which one? Him? Those would be... Oh, did they ever?
This is not.
Don't worry. Oh, lots of people. The real king abdicated and lived out... About head shooting? The liberals got them in a... Liberals? Some were... They didn't...
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took... The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
The Moralists, at least not... This is their zone of control. An almost endearingly moralist. The turn of the revolution. It wasn't a who. It made people over... Of course not. From Revachol and Grad? Why? You and I, officer.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts. A city-state divided into...
The clatter of type.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine. Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
They are what... Anyway, enough sentimentality.
It remains a mystery.
We're in Martinez, a casualty.
She referred...
Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing about... I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. Why, yes. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. Wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of within reason. Now look at you. You're poor. Poor, maybe.
As I was saying, if they...